Hello and welcome to another edition of Billyfishing in the Arctic. Yes, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to walk you through the gear, rods, baits and stuff, right? The rods are the Century E1000 Illuminator. You cannot buy these rods anymore, but they do make others. And Penn International Torque 100, yes. They are loaded with 50-pound 4-strand mainline and 100-pound 4-strand braid leader. The rigs are my up and over ring rig. I will link the build for that rig in the description and I will show it to you when I'm using it. Okay, just to explain it, it's an up and over rig with a bit of South African know-how. Yeah, so it's a blend between our culture and their culture. It's a meeting of minds, a romance if you want. Yes. The baits today are mackerel, and the bait that just went out is half of this fellow right here. When I say half, in reality it's actually 2/3 because that one's all head, right? Okay. Weight wise, right? So I'm going to get the other rod geared up and I'm going to get the rig ready. I'm going to get the bait on it. I'll do a bait, I'll show you the bait as well, and I'll talk a bit about the bait because some people think it's nonsense or whatever. You're entitled to your opinion, but that's all it is. And when it comes to catching big fish, the South Africans are the kings. Yes, they are. Shut up. So before I start showing you the rig and everything else, I would like to take a moment just to complain about the weather report and weather people in general. This is, as usual, a complete polar opposite of the weather report they gave me. The wind is supposed to be off my back, it is in my face. The wind is supposed to be under 5 meters a second, it is twice that. I don't even know why I bother looking at these things. I would stand a better chance of just looking out the window and making a decision from that point. But for some reason I've never learned this. So I will walk you through the rig and everything. If you're from the UK, you will know already what an up and over rig is. If you're from the States, you probably don't know. In the British Isles and a lot of places around Europe, distance is a real factor. And to do this, we use clip down rigs, and the South Africans do as well. And this is a blending or an amalgamation of the two cultures, right? And I call it the up and over ring rig. Some of the South Africans know-how of casting a big bait, and some of my know-how about how to incorporate the two cultures. And my know-how is this little ring here in the middle. This is an assist hook jigging ring, right? And what this does is it puts a bow of slack into the line and allows you to fish a large South African style or safi bait on the end of it, right? This is a dingle dangle, as every South African will know, and it's becoming more popular here in Europe or the British Isles and Norway. It is a fantastic way to fish. It is mostly for conservation, and also it's just a way to clip down an oversized bait as well. The rig design, not necessarily this, okay? Because you can do the same thing with a J hook if you have a lot of slack in the line and just put it onto the bait clip without a dingle dangle. But you can also fish J hooks with dingle dangles too. It also helps out. So running ledger, yes? Okay, in the States it's called a fish finder rig. The assist ring goes onto this relay clip up the top. I'm not showing it, it's my own design and I'm sick of people ripping me off. Design your own gear, you bunch of copycats. You take the dingle dangle and you clip it onto the lead weight. And this is exaggerated for a purpose, just so you can see that the bait won't touch the rig body, right? That's it. I'm going to shorten this up, it's just to make a point. Okay, that's it. So that's the rig. So that's it there. Basically. So I'm going to shorten that up so I cast a little bit better. Yes. So with a dingle dangle, you build the baits between those two beads there, and the bait needs to be about ½ centimeter shorter either end, so when the elastic tightens down on it, it doesn't suffocate the beads and it doesn't shoot off when you're casting it. I'm going to try and make this the best one I've ever done, because I believe when people try it, it's a little bit complicated, the finer details, and just cut down your learning time, right? So you want the bait not to touch the beads at first, and it will get there itself, and if it doesn't, just squeeze on it and it will get there. Okay, simple. So that's it, the bait goes between the beads. Yes, dingle dangle. Yeah. If you're going to do this, you're going to need a very sharp knife and a stiff one, and the bait needs to be frozen. If the bait is not frozen, it needs to be a little bit smaller, otherwise the weight of it will just pull it off the dingle dangle. When it gets into the water, your worries are over, right? But you have to get it there, and that's the trick. So just so I don't waste any bait, I'm going to use the head as well, okay? So I want a little bit of room, make a mark there with my nail, and I'm going to cut to the inside of this piece. the head is like a bit of backing for it. So I'm going to trim this off a little bit as well. There is other ways to do this, and I do use it in some videos, but this one I'm going to try and make it as easy for people and use as little tools as possible, right? And you can do whatever you want with those little bits. Just throw them in the water, whatever, right? That's what I am going to do with them. So normally I would insert a tool through the end and I pull the dingle dangle through it, but this is a more simple way of doing this, so you don't need so many tools. But for this demo, I'm just going to split the head down the middle, because not everybody has these tools or wants to make them. So I'm just going to split the head down a little bit. Try not to cut all the way through. Then slash the head, because it gives a place for the elastic to bite in. And you need this fish's mouth to stay closed, or it will eat the hook on you, ironically. Right? And it doesn't hurt to do this end either. Take your time, especially if your knife's as sharp as mine. Otherwise, you won't be fishing much longer. Okay. That's it there. You just insert the dingle dangle in. Yes, I know some of you are giggling because it sounds like a part of the male genitalia, or it is a nickname that we might use for it. But I am not going to interfere with what the South Africans called it, because they invented it and they deserve to call it whatever they like. And I think a dingle dangle is as good a name as any, because it does dingle dangle. Hate me if you want, but the truth is the truth. So you just start whipping it on. Now, like I said, you want to keep the beak of the fish closed. That's the most important area. Get that elastic into the grooves. Keep its mouth shut. Okay, that's it. Then you can work around the back of it, stop it shooting down the dingle dangle. That's it. Now I'm going to cut some more cutlets. Yes. If you need them to be longer, you just cut more diagonally. These ones will be perfect size because of the size of the mackerel. And so I just continue like this, right? Until I've got the whole fish all cut up, or what's left of it anyway. So there we go. That's the rest of the fish. All of this bait will be going on there. So you just whip on your cutlets, okay? One at a time, keeping the bait symmetrical, okay? You don't need to secure them right now. You just need to apply them, that's it, okay? So I'm going to continue. You look at the end of the bait and you see where it needs bait applied to keep the symmetry to it, right? That's it. And then you'll see me at the end of this demo and I'll finish it off for you. It's just to save a bit of editing, okay? So here we are. We're down to the end bit now, okay? And I'll just show you the symmetry of the end of the bait. That's it. And it can be improved as well, just by squeezing it with your hand. Okay, so this is the last part, and I wouldn't say it's the most critical, but it definitely will keep the bait on the dingle dangle. So you can see this ring up the top. That's an assist hook jigging ring. And you just go over to one side of it, right? And you go down to the opposite side of the dingle dangle, right? So then you go over to the opposite side of the ring, and so on. You just go crisscross like this. That's it. And you do this for as long as is necessary to accomplish what you need to. I would say overdo it, then underdo it, right? And depending on the size of the bait, of course, you gotta put more elastic. Do not do it too tight, or it will come together and snarl the hook when it hits the water. You might get it out there, but it will cause you problems at the end of the day. So don't do it too tight. Don't also do it too loose either. Goldilocks, Goldilocks. Okay, so that's it basically. So when you've got enough elastic on, right, and I would say that is enough, you can see it pulls the hook down, but it's not too tight right now, okay? And then you lock it off at the top, behind the bead and above the bead. And this will stop the bait from eating the hook as well. And you go above the bead as well, and then back down. And now you start whipping the life out of it basically, up the top, and then you work your way down to the bottom. And I'm no way done yet either. So load down the bottom. This is the most crucial place for it to come off. So you lock it off down around the bead like you did up the top. That's it. Keeping that elastic where it should be, so it doesn't snarl in the bait clip either. So you just continue like that, right? And then you put it down and you want to shape it to get it as good as possible, right? Oh, here we go. We got a fish already. That didn't take too long. That's the first cast, by the way. And I would say that it is actually a halibut. Yeah, we're in. Oh, lordy. You're not supposed to strike with circle hooks, just so you know. He's off. No, he's not. Oh. He's off. Bugger. No, he's not. He's there. Oh. Right in the demo, right? Right in the middle of the bait demo. How do you like that? It doesn't feel like a terribly big fish, but they do pull really hard. It doesn't feel like a halibut anymore, but they're kind of strange fish. This could be huge and just kick off at the last minute. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, it is a halibut. Here's the leader. What the hell? A bit of dodgy filming there, but you can understand. Where is it? Here it is. And it looks like an undersized fish. Nah, it's definitely undersized anyway. The rig is long enough for me just to lift this fish in actual fact, and it's not too big either. There we go. Yes. And he will come off nicely. They have got very tough mouths. So I'm just going to get this guy back in the drink. So I'll just give you a quick look at him there. I'd say about 9-10 pounds. Okay. Goodbye, Mr. Halibut. First fish on deck, undersized halibut, returned safely, yay! So, I'll get on with the bait demo. That was really quick. Just as the tide started to drop. Bumski. Great fight off that little guy as well. Great fight off him. I actually thought it was bigger for a few seconds, but man they pull, man they pull. Alright, so I'll get back on with the demo, as I was so rudely interrupted by my friend there. You can't get a bait in the water these days for these guys eating your fish. So, before I was so rudely interrupted by my friend there, I was shaping this bait a little bit. Yes, but I think it's okay the way it is. So now I'm just going to finish off just a little bit of extra elastic around the bottom and the top. Anyway, so that's it there, right? You can go crisscross across the bait as well in its entirety as well, just to finish it off. Lock it off behind the hook. You can put knots on it if you want. I don't bother really anymore. So there we go. That's it there. A South African halibut bait, right? The South Africans are having a giggle right now. They say, but not a bad job, Bill. Nice bait, Bill. That's what they're saying. Shut up, they are. So next bait, as you can see, I've shortened up the rig. Out it goes. So down goes the bait into Chung's Fjord. Yes, see if we get a second fish. It's only 12 meters of water here. It's not the usual depth that you might expect, but in the autumn, the fish come into the shallows to feed on bait fish, leading up to the spawn it starts around about Christmas time, or just before Christmas. And there is a ban on fishing here in Norway for halibut during that time. If you hook one, you have to return it. If you don't, you're not playing by the game. And that makes you not a proper angler, because we're also about fish welfare as well as our stomachs. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to get this guy settled in, and I'm going to get another bait on the other rod, and hopefully I'll get a minute to catch me breath. We get this guy settled in. The water's not very deep here, so I don't have to go through the usual ritual. Getting the grip wires to set in deep water can be quite challenging sometimes. Okay, let's see what we get. So if you're having difficulty getting your wires to set and you're losing a lot of the ground that you won, I had this video, I'm fishing for ray in it, and I do a short little demo of how to get that wire to bite quickly so you don't lose all the ground you gained when you're casting out. It's for water between 20 and 30, maybe 40 meters deep and over, right? I have on occasion fished into 250 meters of water. I do not recommend it, but it's definitely something you should try once or twice, or as I did many times. But the fish are weird. They're not necessarily big, okay? You get stuff like ghost sharks and other things, weird fish. There is one big fish, a Greenland shark, but if you hook into that, yeah, you're gonna have a pretty rough day, I reckon. I have tried to catch them though. It is difficult, they are quite rare. So I just got picked up again, big slack line, and I don't normally get slack lines off halibut. I think it might be a cod. Nah, I didn't get the bait in its mouth. I would say an undersized cod. Yes. Just trying to get a bait in the water, right? Ridiculous. It's just 1 degree today, and I was quite cold when I got here. Guess what? Not anymore. Right, okay. So back to the baiting up again. So just before I forget, I am staying in Chungsfjord Lodge, and I will link their details in the description if you have a need for a boat fishing tour. So I'm going to do another bait now, and this is a tip for beginners really, and maybe not if you've been fishing a while and you're going to start this as well. If you've been fishing a while and you want to try this type of fishing anyway with elastic, it's always good to get rid of every little scrap you can from the last cast, because it can really make your life difficult, and sometimes it's the dividing line between catching a fish and not. So don't be lazy. Take every bit of elastic you can possibly get. Okay, so I'm going to rebait, get another monster bait out there, and hopefully they won't tangle with each other. So I'm going to get the bait onto the other rod and back in the sea. Stay tuned for me. Right, down it goes. And it's a nice bit away from the other bait, so I don't need to worry too much. Unless 300-pound fish comes along or something. But then I reckon I have other problems, right? Get settled in. Yeah, that's a bit weird, I have to say. Messing with it already, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to start pulling at it just yet. Sometimes they can be quite cute and they'll have a few looks at a bait before they actually take it. So we'll see what happens. Yes! I got another take. Here we go. Yep, we're in. Another slack line. God damn it. Yep, we're on. Yep, we're in. Ah, yes. This rod is greasy as hell. Nice off. Ah. So I have had a whole bunch of slack lines, and there goes one right now. A whole bunch of them. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. And well, I got this one anyway. Yep. The rod is so slippy. Well, it's not taken off yet. It could be a big cod though. Oh, my hands are so greasy. I was just baiting up. I don't think it's a halibut, but it might be a big cod. Thank goodness it's away from the other rod though. I'm sorry I can't film too much. My hands are well greasy and it's very difficult just as it is. Now it's a big cod. I'll do. Nice big cod. Yes, big cod. I don't know if you can see him or not. Oh, he's thrashing around the place. So that's what all my missed bites were about. Decent cod anyway. Right, okay. He'll do for food anyway. We just got to gaff into this guy. Make sure I don't lose him. So this is probably what has been plaguing me a little bit. Yep. Oh, he's a nice fish. Oh, he's a beast. That's the best of the year so far, that one. Oh yes, beast of a fish. Yes indeed, look at that guy. Yeah, get you a look at him. Are you ready? Nice fish, right? I'd say about 13, 14, something like that. Nice fish. Yes. Big fat fish. So I'm gonna ikijime that fish, and I have a video on it, both flat fish and round fish, and I'll link it in the description. So stay tuned, it's all about to kick off again, yeah! So here we go, next bait. That wasn't too bad, right? Nice cod, little baby butt. Let's see what else we can get. There's a lot of cod around because of all the slack lines I'm getting. But if they get on the hook, all the better, but I'm after halibut anyway. And my back is always turned every time. I haven't, since I've got here, every bait I've made, I've been interrupted by a fish either giving me a slack line or tearing off. I gotta put clips in. Oh, I did get pick up. I was back at the car. I was looking for something and I heard the rod, at least I thought I heard the rod. And I did get picked up. Yeah, we're in. I think it's off. Is it off? I got another take. Here we go. Yep, we're in. Another slack line. Yep, we're on. Yep, we're in. Ah, yes. Nice off. Ah. I just got picked up again. Big slack line. Big slack line. And I don't normally get slack lines off halibut. I think it might be a cod. Nah, I didn't get the bait in its mouth. I would say an undersized cod. There you go, evidence of nonsense with the fish. Right, so I'm gonna get this bait in and see if we get a decent halibut for the end of the video at least. So, stay tuned. See what happens next here on Billyfishing in the Arctic. Yeah. Ah! So I don't know what to do. The camera mounts are after breaking. I got nowhere to hold the camera. I got picked up by a fish. I don't know what to do here. I'm gonna put you on this table. Maybe you can see something, possibly. Could it go more wrong? Absolutely, I'm sure it can, but I'm still waiting for that moment. Can you see? Right, let's see if we can get a video together. So unfortunately, I believe that might actually be it, whether I catch another fish or not, because the camera mount is now broken, and that's it. I might have something in the car. I will check it out. So I hope you can see, I got in a big mess. Everything got caught in something. I dropped the camera. It had about 100 meters of line out before I got a chance to try and set the hook, and I missed the fish again. It's just possibly the worst night ever. And simultaneously the best at the same time. So many bites, run off my feet. This is it, last cast, right? I'm done. I'm just gonna weigh this fish for you now. Hopefully you can see it if there isn't too much bloody rain on the lens. Ugh. There we go, 0. If you can see it or not. So 13 pounds plus, we'll just say for that. Okay, the rain has eased at last. So I'm gonna get this last cast in the water. And I'm sorry that you can't see, but this was supposed to be just a daylight session, and it has rapidly gone downhill. Last cast, let's go. I'm sorry about the light, right? Shut up. Right, last cast, let's go. So we'll get this bait out anyway. See if we get a fishy. I don't want to catch another fish, but I've already got the bait done, so there's no point in wasting it. So last cast. I have never been this uncomposed ever making a video. It is craziness here today. So we get it out, see if we got a fishy. And the rain is just brilliant. I just love it. 0 degrees and rain. But with all the running around, I am not cold at all. Believe it or not. So that's where I've been hit a lot today. I've been hit a lot everywhere. This place has never been this active ever. It's crazy. I came here because I thought I might have a bit of slow fishing and catch a couple of halibut. I haven't been able to catch my breath hardly. Ridiculous. I'm kind of fecked off really. If I wasn't making videos, I would have caught so many fish today. Just buckets of them. Right. And I'm sapped as well. Really annoying. So we get this guy settled in. See if we get a last cast fishy. Yeah, enough whinging, Bill. So fishing in the lashing rain again. Yes, everything is soaking. Weather people are rubbish. I hope you all lose your jobs. All right, stay tuned. Hopefully it won't kick off. I mean, yeah, atrocious weather. This has got to be the worst weather I fished in this year so far. Be a YouTuber, it's great. I'm just going to stand here until this tears off, that's it. And I'm going to keep on wiping your face until the fish comes, right? Oh lordy, what a day. It's happening again. Did we get this one? That's the question. If it is a fish, it's tiny. What the hell's going on here? That's a crab, right? Isn't it? What do you think? It's very weird anyway. That's a crab for sure. It has to be. Big spider crab. I know somebody who wants it. So I got the slowest bite in the world here. So that is it really. I'm just going to wind this in. I've had enough today. Enough of fishing. Why do I do this to myself? So yeah, we'll just call it a day. I'm done. The tide is at its lowest point. Let's go. There's only so much a Billyfishing can take, right? Screw you guys, I'm going home. There's going to be a giant halibut on this now or something. I'll be filming that thing for the rest of the week. No. Okay. Done. End of session. Right, that's it. Whoa. So, that is it. The worst session ever. And also a pretty good one at the same time. How many fish did I miss today? I don't know. 7, 8, something like that. And I think it's just down to making videos at the same time, unfortunately. I think it was just cod and codling, and they couldn't get those giant baits into their mouth. I think I was cursed from the start of the video. Making a bait, picked up straight away, first cast. And as soon as that happens, you know you're in for a beating. One way or the other. So, till next time, I'm Billy. This is Billy in Arctic, Norway. Wherever you are in the world, remember, I see you on the beach. Bye.